Hi everybody, welcome back to Majestic Collectibles. So this is tub number 2 of the Silver Age collection from West Des Moines, Iowa. Just picked it up, well, I picked the collection up probably by the time this video airs, probably 3 or 4 days ago. If you saw the first video, I did this the day after I bought it. I just broke it up because there's so many of them. So that's it. Let's get started. Click like, hit subscribe if you don't mind. Let me know you're watching. Leave me your questions and comments and you know, other fun stuff. Had some good conversations with people. Thanks to Mark. He's the one that sold me this awesome collection. So a special thank you to him for inviting me in and letting me look and letting me talk his ear off about comics. So it looks like we got Green Lantern Run here. It's another title, a lot like Flash, where I usually don't get big chunks of it. Gil Kane covers. This, unfortunately, is low grade. It's a key book, but probably only fair. It's maybe a 1. I don't even know if it's a 1. Might be a 0.5. But it's in there. Gil Kane again, just a great run of covers. There's Alan Scott on that one. You can see there's a little water spots. Now this is my era. So this is the kind of stuff, I didn't buy it off the shelf, but it was readily available when I was a little kid and started collecting. Great run, great read. If you've never read it, never seen it, you got to pick this run up with the Neil Adams art and the whole storyline. It was fantastic. And these are some pretty nice books. Those two were. Hawkman, another character I don't see very much. I never got into the Hawkman character. There seems to be a little more interest now that he's showing up in the trailer for Black Adam. So I think people are paying a little more attention to him. Great covers. Writing was good on him. It's not like it was a dud book. It just wasn't anything I was into at the, well, ever at the time. But if you get a chance to pick them up, they're very affordable. Got some Superman stuff. Quite a bit. Again, well read. You can see the creasing down there. That one was somebody's favorite book, and that's okay. That's what they were for. And that's probably another 0.5 there. But some good covers, you know. That one's probably the worst book in the whole collection right there. Don't know what happened to it. He didn't buy this as a kid. He bought that as a reader copy, which it is. Great cover there. So, you know, you're going to get 1 or 2 of those, but honestly, the overall grade on this collection is probably close to VG. I would say good, very good, VG minus, because you know there were a few rough ones, but there's also like that book there, really nice condition. Great cover on that too. You know, great book. So there's some pretty nice stuff in here, but I would say the average grade is in that, you know, VG plus or minus range. A great cover, but that thing's really water damaged, unfortunately. I love the zombie cover. Just some really, that's Carmine Infantino, Murphy Anderson. You'll hear those names. Those guys paired up for a lot of stuff for a long time for DC. I always liked that cover. Had the Green Lantern tie-in. I've never been a huge Superman fan. I think it's a character that's really hard to write consistently good, because what do you do with the guy? You know, there's not a lot of plot devices you can use. Another great cover you can use to keep things interesting. So, you know, they came up with more weaknesses. They came up with kind of making him dumb, you know, where he could get outsmarted for a little bit. They just did a lot of things with the character. I don't know, weren't great. And after this run, you get it. There's another one he bought from me at the old Majestic Lion Antique Mall. Love that cover. But it's a run that even the diehard Superman guys will admit right after this, when they started getting in the 30-cent cover price books, just wasn't very good there in the 70s and 80s. Not a lot going on. Not as many good covers, iconic covers. So kind of unfortunate. But again, affordable. If you want to pick up some 50, 60-year-old comics, you know, you can get some pretty nice Superman and action non-key books, you know, pretty economically right now. And I do think they're undervalued in spite of them not being necessarily too great. These 20-cent issues, I think, are a different story. I think they were still really, really good at this point. And they had some innovative storylines, some really good art. Were very, very consistent, I would say, with the character, as opposed to the later issues. And then you start getting here. That's a 25 cent, and they just kind of right in this era, I think, really kind of started to fade a little bit. You know, it's just like they kind of hit a wall on a lot of stuff. Now, I've got some great condition stuff in these 30 centers. Some of these books have got to be close to VF. The problem is there's just nothing going on. You know, there's just not a lot in there. And that was actually one of the better covers of the 30-cent era. Whoops. I think I missed one. Nope, there we go. And these weren't even bagged or boarded, and there weren't too many that were loose. And there, that's the Superman side. Now I think, yeah, it looks like I've got the action and adventure books on the other half of the tub. So it looks like this is going to be pretty much an all Superman group. I think the actions and adventures you're going to see here in a little bit are a little more interesting, a little lower grade. So some of these, especially the early ones, are not anything more than reader stuff, but they're good reader stuff. They're all complete. They're not brittle. So we got just a few 10 centers here. Let's see, 260 on that one, 262. Oops, on that one, Supergirl cover. Bizarro cover. Again, water spots, if you can see the notes. Hercules. It's not the Marvel Hercules, but he did pop up on occasion. That's a little better one. Probably a solid good on that. So, Brainiac, good cover. You know, these late 10 centers were a little bit up and down story-wise. But the covers usually, I thought, were pretty solid on them. They got Perry White. But you can see there are some issues. Got some tanning on this one, which isn't typical of the collection. Usually you start seeing tan edges, you get nervous because it kind of goes through the whole collection. But they must have come all from one batch because there's not a lot in there. That one's really rough. King Superman. You know, they actually, King Superman versus Clark Kent Mattel, they actually came up with some interesting storylines like that. Like, you know, what if Superman took over the world or ran the world or whatever. Another Supergirl cover. Came the Flash. I mean, it's just, well, somebody wasn't a fan. Pretty low grade on that one. Legion, is that? Yeah, well, partial Legion book. You got Brainiac in there, so I guess that is. And I thought that was a Legion, but that's an adventure, so my bad there. Really nice copy on that. That one's probably fine. So that was one of the better books. That's a really nice copy too, probably right in that fine range. Again, probably just a good on that. Fair to good on that one. I like that one because it's got the you know, Batman fans. So they're trying to do a cross appeal there. You know, make it more of a mystery book than an action book, and seeing if the Batman fans can figure out the mystery. Not really, I guess, maybe what you call a true crossover, but still kind of interesting way to go about that. Okay, now we're going to get in some nicer stuff. Very nice copy there. And just some, you know, and that's like an all Supergirl issue, I believe. Well, not quite. But I think she is in almost all the stories. Pity Hound, Pied Piper of Steel. Again, you're getting into some nice covers. 15-cent books are not very highly regarded. I guess that's the polite way of saying that, especially for DC collectors. They seem to be avoided like the plague, but they got, I'm telling you, they got some fantastic covers on these things. That I think people are really missing the boat. There's, you know, some Neil Adams stuff in that 15-cent cover run. Just some very well laid out covers. And the stories, you know, they're not bad yet. You know, you got to get a few years newer. That's a great cover. Saw that on the, not the Treasury edition, that's the Marvel one, but the tabloid-sized book. Superman's Fortress of Solitude. That was a basically a cover swipe of that cover there, or an homage if you don't want to use the word you know, cover swipe. But I think it was probably cover swipe. See, another great cover. This is really, it started earlier, but kind of through this era and into the 70s, magic was his biggest weakness. They kind of moved away from the kryptonite all the time, and no, that's not Popeye. It certainly looks like Popeye, Captain Strong, but it's not. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. They really moved towards, you know, I guess more supernatural or something different than just kryptonite all the time that he was a weakness to. Really showed up later in New Gods. If you read his stuff against Darkseid and Apocalypse, he always struggled against them because of the magic angle. And again, another nice cover, lower grade. That's a nice book. Probably around fine on that one. So again, getting a little better. That one's got a big crease, but great look, and you know, presents well for the grade. A lot of these, if you at first glance you'd think it's probably a VF book, but they're not. But they present very, very well. And almost the entire collection is like that. And some of these, like this is actually a really nice book, but this cover, I don't even see it. It's got like some film or scum or something on it, so the book is probably a fine, but it looks terrible because of that sleeve. And I think I got one more little batch if I quit kicking the camera here. Try this again. And here we go. And again, this isn't a great book, but the sleeve on it is terrible. So I don't know if these were on top or exposed to something, I'm not sure, but something got them, kind of got a film on them. This one, unfortunately, that one's got a lot of sun fading, so that might have been bought outside at a flea market or something. It definitely sat in the light for a long time. And here we're kind of getting close to that era where I think Superman kind of just took a nosedive a little bit. The backup stories, so this has Green Arrow and Black Canary. And Green Arrow, I don't know, gee, he was a backup in, I don't know, 2 or 3 titles, I think, over the decades. Actually, some of those backup stories were better. And there he is on the front cover, and the Adams in that one. So you saw him try and do a little little crossover, just jazz things up a little bit. I don't know. This is definitely the era they hit the wall. And for the most part, it's after Neil Adams doing the art. So, you know, that's it for tub number 2 on the Silver Age collection. Got 2 more tubs left. Hey, come see me at the Labor Day show if you're in Spirit Lake, Iowa over Labor Day. Come see me in Myrtle Hay Mall September 24th and 5th. And the Capital City Card Show, I think it's September 30th and October 1 and 2. And that's at the Hy-Vee Hall here in Des Moines. So hope to see you there. Stop by and say hi. Thanks for watching.